Hi friends, this is the fourth and last class of chapter 5 Lines and Angles. Today I am going to discuss transversal of parallel lines, checking for parallel lines. In the class number 3 you already know what transversal and angles made by the transversal. Let me draw a pair of lines, line AB and line CD. Now, are they intersecting? Line means it is extended in both directions. But here it is intersecting. So these two lines we can call it as intersecting lines. Now let me change the position of the line AB. Now let us see, will they intersect each other? It will not intersect. If the lines are not intersecting, then such lines we can call it as parallel lines. This we can write it as AB is parallel to CD. The same you can represent symbolically. This you can read as AB parallel to CD. Now let me draw a transversal to AB and CD. EF is a transversal of AB and CD. Let EF intersecting AB at G and CD at H. Now you will get 8 angles and you know all the name of these angles. Now let me consider the corresponding pair of corresponding angles. Let me measure one pair of corresponding angle. Here you can see both angle BGE and angle DHE. Both are 72 degree. That means corresponding angles are equal. Now let me change the position of the transversal. What will happen to the corresponding angles? In all the cases, you can see corresponding angles are equal. So we can write, if lines are parallel, corresponding angles are equal. Let me check another pair of corresponding angles. Here is another pair of corresponding angle. Now what's its value? Both are equal to 58 degree. Measure of each corresponding angle is equal to 58 degree. Now let me change its position. What will happen? Here 84, 94. Now look here. In all the cases you can see corresponding angles are equal. Now if you take another pair, select another pair and measure it, you can also find out that both pairs of corresponding angles are equal. So we can conclude, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of corresponding angles are equal in measure. So draw this figure and write the statement. First draw a pair of parallel lines, draw a transversal, take any one of the corresponding angle and measure it and write down, and you can find it out. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of corresponding angles are equal in measure. Now let me take another pair of angles. Do you remember the name of this pair of angles? Yes, it is called alternate interior angles. Let me find out the measure of these angles. Here also you can see both the alternate interior angles are equal. Now let me change the position of the transversal. Here in all the cases you can say alternate interior angles are equal. So if the lines are parallel, you can find alternate interior angles are also equal. So we can write, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate interior angles are equal. Now let me take another pair of angles. Can you say what we can call this type of angles? Yes, these angles are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Now let me measure these angles. Are they equal? No. It is 114 degree, 66 degree. Now you add these two angles. What answer will you get? 114 plus 66, you will get 180 degree. Now let me change the position. 102 degree plus 101 degree plus 79, again you are getting 180. 89 plus 91, again you are getting 180. In all the case, sum of these two angles, you will get a 180 degree. If sum of two angles is 180 degree, then those angles we can call it as supplementary. So we can conclude, if lines are parallel, the interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. That means their sum is equal to 180 degree. So we can write, if two lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Now here also you can measure the other pair of angles on the same side of the transversal and add it, you will get a 180 degree. That means it is supplementary. So you can summarize, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of 1. Corresponding angles are equal in measure, 2. Alternate interior angles are equal, and 3. Interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. That is, sum of those interior angles will be equal to 180 degree. These are the three conditions when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Now you can easily identify the corresponding angles and interior angles on the same side of the transversal or alternate interior angles. Let us see how it is. Now if you draw a corresponding angles here, corresponding angles will be, let me mark the corresponding angle first. Here are the corresponding angles. Now let me join all these things. So how it will be? This is the angle made by, these are all the corresponding angles. It looks like the English alphabet F. Now let me mark the another pair of corresponding angle. This is another pair of corresponding angles. Now let me join all these. Still you are getting a that inverted F. So just remember the letter F, it will denote corresponding angles. Now these are alternate interior angles. Now let me join on this. It is just like Z. So this type of angles you can say they are alternate interior angles, and this is interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Now if we join, it will be like C. So by if it is in the type of F, it is corresponding angles. If it is in the type of Z, it is alternate interior angles. And if it is in the type of C, you can say interior angles on the same side of the transversal. This way you can easily remember the angles. Now you have some questions. Swan, two lines are L and M are two lines, and T is a transversal, and some angles are these two, we can call it as alternate interior angles. Then what is the values of X? You know alternate interior angles are equal when lines are parallel, so you can write X is equal to 60 degree because alternate interior angles are equal. Reason you can write alternate interior angles are equal. Now in this figure you find out Y. Now L1 and L2 be two lines. Are they parallel? No. Now the question is, T is the transversal. Is angle 1 is equal to angle 2? Obviously it is not. You must write the reason why it is not equal, because lines are not parallel. Here two lines L and M, you have to find out the values of Z. T is the transversal. You know these two angles are angles on the same side of the transversal. You know if you add these two, you will get a 180 degree. One angle 60 is given. Then think what about the other angle. Now here corresponding angles are given and lines are parallel. Here only one angle is given. You can find out A, B, C and D. You try to find out all these things. The next topic is checking for parallel lines. Now let me draw two lines. You have to check whether these two lines are parallel or not. Now let me draw a transversal. Let it intersect at G and H respectively. Now you know that if two lines are parallel, their corresponding angles will be equal. Here, now check whether the corresponding angles are equal or not. Here it is not equal, so we can say these two lines are not parallel. Or you remove it. Now see, these two angles are corresponding angles are equal. Now you can see these lines are parallel. So to check whether two lines are parallel, you just find out the corresponding angles, and if the corresponding angles are equal, you can say the lines are parallel. So we can conclude, when a transversal cut two lines such that pairs of corresponding angles are equal, then the lines have to be parallel. Let us take another method. Take two lines and a transversal. Now measure the alternate interior angles. You can see corresponding angles are alternate interior angles are not equal. Now that means these lines are not parallel. Now just change the position. Now you can see the alternate interior angles are equal. Therefore, these lines will be parallel. So this is the second condition. If two lines are cut by a transversal and alternate interior angles are equal, then also lines will be parallel. So we can conclude, when a transversal cut two lines such that pairs of alternate interior angles are equal, the lines have to be parallel. So this is another way to find out whether two lines are parallel. Now let us take the third one. Here it is given the pair of angles. Angles are on the same interior angles on the same side of the transversal. One angle is 130 degree, other is 60. Now add it. What will you get? 130 plus 60, it is 190. So you can say these two lines are not parallel. Now let me change one of the portion of one of the line. Now what is the sum of these two angles? 130 plus 50, 180 degree. Now if it is 180 degree, now what about the line? You can see these lines are parallel. That means if the angles on the same side of the transversal, interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, or the sum of those angles is equal to 180 degree, then also the lines will be parallel. So we can summarize, when a transversal cut two lines such that pairs of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, the lines have to be parallel. These are the three conditions for two lines to be parallel. First, check whether corresponding angles are equal, then or check alternate interior angles are equal, or check the interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary or not. Then if they are, or if the corresponding angles are equal, you can say lines are parallel. If the alternative interior angles are equal, then also lines are parallel. Or interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, then also the lines have to be parallel. Lines are parallel. This is the first question of exercise 5.2. State the property that is used in each of the following statements. If A parallel to B, then angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Look at angle 1 and angle 5. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. So you can say it is corresponding angle property. Then what about angle 4 and 6? They are alternate interior angles. So you can write this alternate interior angle property. If angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree, then A parallel to B. What are the angles? Angle 4 and angle 5 known? They are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. you know that it is supplementary if lines are parallel. So you can write interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. That is question number 1. Question number 2 you already done in class number 3. Now question number 3, in the adjoining figure P is parallel, here P is parallel to Q. Find the unknown angles. You have to find out A, B, C, D, E and F. Since this is 125 degree, the corresponding angles you can write, angle D is the corresponding angle. So you can write D is equal to 125 degree. You can write D is equal to 125 degree. The reason corresponding angles are equal. Now you can find out B also. If D is equal to 125, B also 125. What is the reason? Vertically opposite angles. Now if you know D, you can find out F. Angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. And if it is 125 E, you can find out as supplementary angles. Or if you find out F, vertically opposite angles. Any method you can find out all these angles. So try to find out the answer of all. Try to find out the unknown angles. Question number 4 already done. Now question number 5. The given figure, the arms of the two angles are parallel. That is AB is parallel to ED. Similarly BC is parallel to EF. Now angle ABC is given as 70 degree. Now find out angle DGC. Here angle ABC and angle DGC are corresponding angles. So this is equal to 70 degree. This angle also will be 70 degree. You can write corresponding angles are equal. Same way you can find out DEF also. Both equal to 70 degree. Reason you can write corresponding angles are equal. This is the last question. In the given figure below, decide L is parallel to L. You have to check these two lines are parallel. So 3 conditions you already learnt. Here angles on the same side of the transversal given. If you add these two angles, if you get if this angle plus this angle, if you get 180 degree, you can say lines are parallel and write the reason. Now here one interior angle is given. Now if you can find out this angle and if you find out this angle is 75, corresponding angles are equal, so you can write lines are parallel. So first do find out this angle. Now this is 75, the linear pair of angles, so they are supplementary. Then find out angle 75 plus this angle should be 180 degree. Do find out that angle and check whether they are equal or not. Here also the same. Either you can find out this angle or you can find out this angle is equal to 57 vertically opposite angles. So if sum of these two angles are 180 degree, you can find out. Otherwise you check corresponding angles are equal or not. Here also in the same way you can find it out. If corresponding angles are equal or alternate interior angles are equal, or angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, or sum of those angles equal to 180 degree. If these 3 conditions satisfies, you can say line is parallel to F. So do all these questions. That is all for this chapter. Have a nice day.